walk on the woo-woo side with me. My name is Michelle Douglas and I am on a mission to help you to step into your power so that you can create the life you desire. Visit me at empoweredlifeprograms.com to learn more. Hello, it's Michelle here, and today I am going to be talking about a wonderful past life regression that I facilitated yesterday with a beautiful new client. So we ended up back in the 1700s, and I was both delighted and surprised as we traveled back through time, and she was able to receive such clear images and messages about what was happening at that time. And the reason that she had come to me for her regression was because she was dealing with a difficult relationship with a family member and wanted some more clarity around that and how to handle it. So our session began with a walk through time into her childhood in this current life, then into the womb before her birth, and then finally into a past life where we found her in the 1700s. Now, in that first scene of the life, she was a young girl with her little brother. And she was cold and hungry. Her hair was a mess. We think she might have been an orphan at this point. From there, we move forward in that lifetime, and we find her sipping tea in what seems to be luxurious surroundings in comparison to what she had been in before. She feels extremely awkward at this time and uncoordinated as she adjusts to this different way of life that seems a far cry from her childhood. There was a whole lot more to it. We explore this time for a little bit more before we move forward again to the day of her death in that lifetime where she was surrounded by her children. And this was a day she was very glad to have reached, it seems. So I am guessing the life wasn't as amazing as one would have hoped. Now, as she leaves her body in that final scene, I guide her to a place where she can chat, or we can chat for a bit to gain a deeper understanding of the lessons that were learned within that life and to get an understanding of how that life was relevant to her past or to her present life struggles. So, because what often happens when we do a past life regression is that your subconscious or higher self allows us to go into a time that's relevant to the issues you want to address in this current lifetime. Now, it's at this point that I can determine where to take the regression and move things in a particular direction. And within a few minutes, we found that she was experiencing a repeated pattern of living this repressed life. And it turns out it had been repeated over 12 other lifetimes. And in every single one of those lifetimes, she had been female. And it was a really big realization for her. Now, once we came to this realization, I guided her through quite a deep healing process, which helped her to let go of that heavy burden of regression that she'd been carrying, probably for centuries, and then through her entire life in this current lifetime. I then guided her out of the trance state, and she was thrilled to report that she felt a whole lot lighter at the end of the session, but also more confident about her path forward. And this is basically what this work is all about. So whether you get get the soul profile and realignment, or go through the soul regression therapy road, which is the past life and between lives regression, what you're going to find is that you become empowered with all of this knowledge that you didn't have before, that gives you a lot more clarity about how best to move forward and to clear those limiting beliefs, those restrictive patterns that you're involved in or, perpetuating in this current lifetime, so that you can take your power back and start creating a life that resonates with what you want as opposed to with what you don't want. Now, if you'd like to go back into the 1700s or beyond yourself, we never know where we'll end up, then you might want to check out the soul regression therapy page that I have up on the website, and that's at empoweredlifeprograms.com/regression. So that's the soul regression therapy, which includes past life regression and between lives regression. And if you'd like to book, there's also a button or a few different buttons on the page, depending on which option you want to go with. So I shall leave you with that, and I look forward to chatting with you again very soon.